Camera is rolling. Audio is rolling.
Reid.
Down.
Make sure my throat's clear. I could get my homecoming speaking voice back. I haven't used it in so long.
All right. So thank you for being here for the Making of Homecoming 2022, the interviews for the documentary. So introduce yourself and your homecoming title.
So I'm Reid Burton, and I'm one of the Homecoming 2022 royalty.
All right, Reid. So it's been a few months since we last spoke. So how's life been?
It's been good. It's been busy, wrapping up senior year, getting ready for graduation, getting ready for, doing my homecoming implementation, stuff like that. I decided to pack my schedule with classes for some reason in my last semester at Tech, so that's been fun. But overall, it's been good. I'm currently working on implementing my homecoming platform right now. I'm kind of corresponding with people that, I need to correspond with to set up the homecoming field day that we're going to do at Blacksburg High School. So.
All right. So remind us of your platform and any other work you're doing to make your platform come to life.
Yeah, so my platform was Reaching Out with Reid. It was focused on providing mental health resources and education to middle and high school kids. So the reason why this was important to me is because going through middle school and high school, I struggled with OCD, anxiety, and depression. Had no clue who to turn to, how to deal with that. I'd heard those terms before, but had no clue that that's what was happening to me. So what we really focused on through the campaign was spreading that education and resources out to kids that may not know, what's wrong with them, kind of showing them that, you're not the only one that feels this way, if there is kind of help going forward. So leading into the implementation, what we're doing is we're throwing a mental health field day at Blacksburg High School, where we're bringing in like food truck vendors, speakers, members from BT Athletics to come play games with the kids, talk with them about mental health, and also have speakers from BT Athletics to kind of speak about their experience with dealing with mental illness, within school, and kind of how they got help, how they reached out, and helped work on those initial steps to better their mental health going forward.
Yeah. So when people come to that program, to that event, what is one thing you want them to take away from it?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that, you're not alone, that you are, able to get the help that you need, when you get kind of in that dark place and, you don't know what's wrong with you, you don't know what's going on, you don't know that you have these specific things like anxiety or OCD or things like that. It's hard to understand where to turn to and where to get help. So the biggest thing is you're not alone. Other people feel this way. Other people are dealing with the same things you're dealing with. And also that, having those athletic speakers as people that have done these awesome, things here at Virginia Tech that have struggled with things like anxiety and other mental illnesses. It's almost like sort of a beacon of hope for these kids to look at and say, if they can do that while struggling with anxiety or OCD or something like that, I can do what I want as well. So.
All right, so something that the Homecoming Board implemented this year was the production of Homecoming Court 72 questions. So for that project, what did you do to prepare yourself, but also the answers? Because this is a representation of you, a personal side of you that would be shown to students.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I looked through the questions and I was thinking about making some sort of preparations beforehand, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, I want it to be as, just off the cuff as possible, as, natural as possible, just kind of showcase who I am for people that may not have known me or anything about my platform or things like that. So I went into it, we filmed it at the German Club Manor, which was really special. Got a whole bunch of German Club guys to come out and be a part of it, to kind of show, what the Manor's like, what life with German Club is like. And it was awesome. I mean, it was cool to just kind of be a part of that experience, talk about my platform, talk more about me, and things like that. I got to plug, my favorite show of all time, The Wire, in there. I got to do things like that. So it was really fun. And it was great to kind of have the backing of German Club, throughout the whole homecoming process, but specifically within 72 questions. So.
You know what I mean? If you meet someone, you're like, I'm not actually like this, even though that might be presented like that. I don't know if that actually simplified it.
I feel like I'm very straightforward with it. I don't know.
But could that not be a response to that question?
Unless they feel like they're not seeing the whole you, because you're a very outward person. So.
Yeah, but me saying that just sounds so egotistical. I don't know.
Yeah, but you have to talk about yourself. But then you can mention that, I feel like the more transparent you are, then the quality improves for these.
So I'll just thanks, buddy. What's the biggest misconception of me and the work I do?
In the what?
The work I do.
So what was it like when you decided to run for court and the German club? Like, what was that process like to have that support additionally, but especially from the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. I was very, very blessed to have, strong support from German Club through the entire homecoming process. That kind of comes from how seriously German Club takes homecoming. We're really passionate about, what homecoming is at Virginia Tech and what we can do through homecoming. One of the reasons why I went out for homecoming court was because one of my good friends, Andrew McCaffrey, was running on a platform about childhood cancer. It's something that he dealt with personally, and just seeing him being able to talk to random kids that he'd never seen before, tell them his story, kind of share, what he wanted to do to expand awareness about childhood cancer and to, expand the treatment for cures and things like that was really special to me. And that's something that I wanted to do going forward. German Club takes homecoming very seriously. And so kind of going after that, I knew that it was a big task. But I was excited and kind of blessed to have so many guys there for me. Anything that I needed throughout homecoming, those guys were there. I was able to have guys even take some of that workload off of me so I didn't have to do everything on my own. Yeah.
So looking back at October, walk me through the emotions. I guess, Sunday night, what did it feel like the first day of school? Like, what was it like for you?
I was so excited. Like, I was excited just to be out there in the booth. Honestly, it was a break from the monotonous schedule that college sometimes gives us, where it's just like, you've got your week after week of classes. This was kind of a break. It was something fun, exciting, to talk to people about your platform and things like that and just stand out on the booth. Like, a lot of the homecoming candidates probably hated boothing. I loved boothing. It was one of my favorite parts, honestly, is doing that and then having the homecoming events at night. It was exciting, and it was just, fun to be active that whole time, break that kind of monotonous schedule, and just get to talk to people and things like that. So it was exciting.
It was awesome. That's rare to hear that, the court likes boothing, so that's
Yep.
cool.
I might have been the only one, so.
So walk me through the homecoming showcase, the performance that essentially was, kind of like the best court performance that y'all were shirtless, you had the music, the energy, the props, the caution wet floor sign. How did that come to life and who choreographed that?
I don't even remember when we decided to do Umbrella, but yeah, I think it was probably Kayla Hess was the one that kind of initiated that, and she did the choreography for it. She sent me, Mason, Quartz, Chase, all of us this choreography that she had just created for Umbrella, and none of us are talented dancers except for Kayla, so we were just going through the motions, trying to figure it out, and it was fun. We decided to have as much fun with it as possible, and not take anything seriously, not want to do this massive, beautiful performance. We were sandwiched, I think, in between ballet and CDE, and it was this just random. I remember one of my friends texted me after it and was there was a couple girls sitting behind that didn't know it was Court that was doing that dance, and she was like, this dance group is horrible. They're so bad. So it was fun. It all kind of just came together. We were like, okay, what should we do? We'll tear our jackets off and we'll wear a wife beater or something like that. And then it turned from that into, we're gonna rip our shirts off at the end of the performance. And it turned into us trying to find props for our umbrella. And I didn't have a prop our first day of practice, so I saw a wet floor sign in Squires, and I said, that's gonna be my prop. So I just grabbed it and did that, and that's how the wet floor sign, and I was lucky enough to have that wet floor sign still be there when it came time for showcase. It was still there, so yeah.
Awesome. Is it still there now? Did you put it back?
I have no idea. I should have kept it, honestly. I should have just paid someone to keep that wet floor sign.
All right, so after the showcase, the Wednesday we had the banquet, then we had the premiere, and then Friday we had the parade. But I really want to get at Saturday's game. Yeah. What was it like being on the field and tens of thousands of people watching you and then hearing your name called? The first name, if I'm not mistaken, the first name President Sands called. What was that like?
It was nerve-wracking, kind of going into that Saturday. It was so much work built up. We started the spring semester beforehand. It was so much work kind of building up to this one kind of pivotal moment. It's who is Tim going to call out? Who is Dr. Sands going to call out? And it was awesome. Being down there in front of literally everyone, a sold-out Lane Stadium, packed. I had family in town. Like my mom walked me out on the field. So it was just cool to be a part of that. And I was super excited, even though I was extremely nervous the entire time. And then I didn't even hear my full name being called out. So we were sitting there, I was like watching Tim's like speech patterns. I was like, what is he gonna say? Who is it gonna be? And then all I heard was, "Ruh," and then like I heard German Club, like screaming, basically. Because I knew where they were at. Like German Club for every homecoming candidate sits at a specific section of Lane Stadium, and all I heard was "Ruh," and then just like screaming. So it was awesome. It was extremely cool to be a part of that, and to all that hard work to kind of be rewarded by winning royalty.
So looking holistically at all of homecoming from spring to fall, what was your favorite and least favorite part of that process?
Yeah, I think honestly, again, like boothing. I loved boothing so much. I'm probably the only court candidate that'll say that, but I absolutely adored boothing. Just getting to stand out there from 8 to, I think it was like 4 or 5 when we closed up shop, like a full work day. I tried when I didn't have classes to be at the booth every second that I could be. Just getting to talk with the, other members of Virginia Tech, my peers and things like that, getting to just annoy people and talk to them about homecoming, drag them away, was awesome. And that's kind of one of my favorite parts. That, and also probably Showcase was extremely fun. Just getting to kind of like, everything was so much of a grind of like, are we getting votes? Are we getting the message out to people? Stuff like that. Showcase wasn't about any of that. It was just having fun and kind of, doing things like that. So, those two things were probably my favorite part going through it.
Awesome. So do you have a least favorite part?
Oh, least favorite part? Let me see here. Least favorite part, honestly, was like the first half of the game, homecoming game. That was like, the first half of that game waiting for halftime that was the longest. I love football, but that was the longest half of football I've ever sat through in my life, because I wasn't thinking about the game. I was just thinking about like what's going to happen with royalty and stuff like that. And probably a lot of the other candidates can say the same thing, is that was the worst part, is that first half of the football game. So. And
it's crazy because like I was there with y'all and I was nervous. So I could only imagine running and like sitting there and trying to be calm, cool, and collected. But y'all did great. So, I mean, this is not the last time we'll see each other. We'll see each other again for Homecoming 23 for the parade. But looking onward, what are some pieces of advice you have for this next cohort of court candidates?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things I would say is kind of don't take all of the workload of homecoming on yourself. That's something that I started to do, early on, is I wanted to do everything and be in charge of everything. That's, my OCD. My OCD made me kind of want to just be in charge of everything. But it wasn't until, one of the former royalty winners told me, he's like, you can't do it all on your own. That was kind of one of his biggest mistakes that he did during homecoming. So I started to kind of spread that workload around, rely on my friends to kind of help me through. And that was kind of the biggest thing that helped me out. I was able to spread out, I've got like, this person's going to help me with social media and marketing. This person's going to be my boothing drill sergeant to make sure we follow all the rules and make sure all the other younger guys are following the rules and stuff like that. So don't put all that work on yourself. Rely on your friends. Kind of get a like war council is what we called it. Get a war council together. Everyone that's really passionate about your platform and things like that. And it doesn't just have to be from your organization. It's just people that care about the platform and they want to help in whatever way they can, and kind of spread that workload and make it easier so that you can do all the like other tasks that the actual court has to do. So. Yeah,
delegation. Love
exactly.
That.
Yeah.
So the last kind of question as we wrap up, after, I guess, the parade in October 2023, and you leave, or you'll be leaving Virginia Tech, obviously in May, but after you officially leave, after, October, what do you want your legacy to be at the university? Not just homecoming, but looking at your freshman year all the way to now, all of your growth, all the sacrifice, hard work. What is that legacy?
I think the biggest thing is just, that I was a friend to everybody. I made as many friends as I could possible here, and kind of, made other people's lives better. Just kind of being there for people that aren't just my close friends, but also, people that I barely even know. If they need someone to talk to, need kind of a shoulder to lean on and stuff like that. I was there for them, going through kind of this hard college experience. College is hard to a certain extent, whether it's schoolwork or social stuff or things like that. Is that I was consistently someone that was there that they could lean on, and they could reach out to and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So, is there anything else you would like to say that I haven't asked?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much, Reid, for participating in the Making of Homecoming 2022 interviews for the documentary. And we'll catch up another time soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ryan.